Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. 8 people watching, all on Twitter. I'm just kidding. What's up? Good morning, David. How you doing, buddy? Happy Thursday. You said you were going somewhere this weekend, right? Where are you going? What you up to? Going to see the kids? Dom, sign language, something like that. I don't know what I was doing. Thought like maybe I'll come in here and wave. Chicago. Okay. All right. All right. That's family trip, right? Or is it work, family, business, pleasure all together? Um, kids excited. Nice. Awesome. Um, kids and everything. We're getting it done. Yeah. So it's Thursday. I have a proposal that I'm finishing up this morning after the show and present this bad boy to a developer, try to get this job lined up. Um Freaking deadline was Monday for people to turn their bids in. Got one last night at like 6 p.m. and I still don't have another. We're missing one proposal. Thankfully, I got all the difficult ones in. So yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm solid. I think I'll finish this up after the show. Thing that happened this morning was, oh, good morning, Caitlin. Hey, how's it going? What's going on? What's been going on with you? How you doing? How's school? How are the kids? How's the hubs? How's that weird? You don't need to tell me how Soggy is. We all know how he is. He does these daily videos where he just talks about himself all day. Um, but yeah, good morning. Um, yeah, so got this proposal to finish up, and I need about 30, 40 minutes on the computer. And then as I'm sitting here reading and journaling this morning, the power started to surge a little bit in the office. And I thought to myself, hmm, a power outage today would not be fun. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Surgery being scheduled. Have you I'll search later. Um, I don't know if you posted any more information about what was going on, but hopefully it's nothing too major. Um, and it'll be okay. But yeah, prayers, sending good thoughts, all that stuff. We're here for you like we always are. Um, but yeah, when is it? Negative. But send me a message. I'll give you okay. Gotcha. I did want to, I don't know if this is a I don't know if I should pivot this quickly, but I did want to mention, because I mentioned last week our friend in the community, Danny Meadows, he had a son. I think it's his third kid, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and when they were pregnant, the doctors were able to tell them that their son had I don't know if it's a rare heart condition or just a heart condition in general, uh, hypoplastic left heart syndrome. And they were telling him that he had to have like the kid would have to have surgery within the first 4 days, like if he made it. Um, and so it's been 4 days, and they got told that he doesn't have to have surgery. And they discharged him and sent them home. So amazing news for that family. They were looking down the barrel of a 4-day-old kid having heart surgery. Um, and somehow, some way, something happened. Uh, and something changed in that little boy. So that's awesome news for that family and everyone that's yeah, exactly. God works in crazy ways. Little miracle, whatever you want to call it. Um, it was just one of those things. So I don't think he's completely out of the woods yet. But this is at least, you know, a better day for than they were expecting. So I woke up, that was about 2 hours ago that he posted that. I woke up and saw that and was pretty thrilled. Um, thrilled for them. Great news. But yeah, hopefully, same happens, Galen. All right, go get it done. Thank you for stopping in and saying hi to us and giving us a little tiny update. I will check with you later and see what's going on. But yeah, we're here. It's Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. That was my little update. What else we got going on? I went home last night. HLHS was where my mom ended. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What does HLHS stand for? Not familiar with the acronym. Oh, hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Okay, gotcha. That makes perfect sense that you would bring that up. Um, wow. Is a severe congenital heart defect where the left side of the heart, including the left ventricle and aorta, is underdeveloped. Yeah, so that's they were saying. How long did your mom live to? Because Danny was saying that like they don't make it past like uh 25 years old or something like that. So that's pretty crazy. I'd never heard of it before, never known that. It's wild. Let's see. Jason, 86. Wow. Okay. It's amazing. Well, maybe I should put you in touch with Danny. I don't know if you know him. Danny Meadows, he lives in New Zealand, but he's a V Friends day one guy. Been to all the VCons, I think, except the last one. But that's great. 86 is amazing. Does anyone else in your family have it or anything like that? I don't know if it's a genetic that gets passed down. Jason, are you there? I just see a gray screen there. A little concerned adding up a gray screen. Let's try it out.
Good morning, Dom.
Who knows? What's up, buddy?
Can you
How
hear
you
me?
doing? Jason is on a walk, folks. He does walk.
I'm out with the dogs. The horizon is golden.
Nice.
It's
Well
pretty
done.
pretty nice. I take them to the ball fields up here. I'm turning my video off because I can't. Last time I tried this walking with a video screen,
Yeah,
I
I
could
remember.
not. I could not thread more than one and a half thoughts together.
He's like me. He likes to look at himself so much. So I just maximized myself on the screen, but I think you can still talk.
Yeah. Can you
All right,
still
cool.
can you still hear me?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So
Okay,
what's
I
up?
put
Do
my
you
phone in my
normally take the
pocket.
dogs for a walk in the morning?
Some days I do. Yeah. Just something that just kind of makes the day go easier sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like normally it's either I wake up, I'll get some of the executive work of the day
Hmm.
done, like school stuff or home stuff, or usually it's the gym, and then sometimes it's getting the dogs out because Kristen has been pretty busy with work lately and not able to get the dogs out, and they go absolutely nuts if
Yeah.
they don't get out. Um, it's also a nice way to just, you know, rest days don't always have to be sleeping in,
Oh yeah. Yep.
just a little bit of a walk.
Nice
I should
calm
do it
walk.
more.
Yeah.
It is nice.
It is. It is really nice to walk and just give yourself that little break and enjoy the scenery or whatever. We all should do it more. Uh, it, I I enjoy it. I just don't do it enough. I do my little lately. I'll shut this down, do some exercise, and then I'll go on a walk just right to the park. So it's like 6 minutes away. Sit down, meditate for a little bit, and then walk back. And that's been really good. I think there's a while where I was trying to do like 2, 3, 4 miles in the morning, and it's just so long, and there's so much I could be doing here that I'm like, man, what am I walking 4 miles for? And then I'm like stressed out at work because I didn't like. prep for the day or anything. I just like get out of 4 miles, change my clothes, and go right to work like a little scatterbrain. So I like the short walks. I think I just need to try to find a way to like squeeze one in the middle of the day. I definitely wish I had the ability to go on one, like somewhat before bed and like take a kid or a wife with me. But man, the second, I don't know if anyone else feels this, but the second I cross the threshold of my door, it's like I it's like I go into like I just it's like a steep downhill to like going to bed.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. It takes a little bit more will. I don't know. Is willpower the word? I guess
I don't know. I could
to keep
never
that
work from
going.
home is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like even like a 20-minute walk. Like I constantly forget like how good just 20 minutes
Yeah.
is good. It's like whenever I think about walking or any of those kind of low impact things,
Mhm.
I forget how much, whether it's relaxation or focus or concentration, it gives you just a little bit. It doesn't even have to be. It can be as long as a bathroom trip.
Yeah.
And by bathroom trip, I mean a bathroom trip when you have your cell phone and it's at least 36 minutes.
Yeah. One where your legs fall asleep.
Yeah, those ones.
Did you hear the first part of the show at all?
I didn't. No. What's up?
Okay.
What's going on?
Our friend Caitlin has a surgery scheduled, so we're keeping her in our thoughts and prayers this week and every day. And then that guy I told you about last week, Danny Meadows, he just had his third kid born a couple
Uh
days
huh.
ago, and that was like a heart condition. Um, he was told they were originally told that the boy had to go into surgery at day 4 of being alive, and then I think today was day 4, and instead of being told they're going to surgery, they said, "Nah, he's good. Go home." I mean, obviously not like that, but so some miracle happened, and they didn't have to do surgery. So that family is over the moon happy. We're all excited for them, all that stuff. So
That's amazing. That's a good
yeah,
way to start the day.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The post happened 2 hours ago. I read it. It was like the first thing that I read this morning. Um, and that just it put me in a better mood. I was like, oh my God, like, this is amazing. Cause that I've been thinking of reaching out to him again because I saw that his son was born and came out, all that stuff. And yeah, I've been wondering what day was surgery day. Kid, kid
That
challenges this week. Working on reading all emotion. Go ahead. Sorry.
uh, so that's the same. That's when the doctor said that people above or people with that condition don't usually live past the age of 30.
Yeah,
Is that
and
the
then
same
funny
thing?
enough, yeah, and then funny enough, David here said that his mom died of that same syndrome, but she made
Yeah.
it to 86,
That's
which
just
is
that's that whole concept of I mean, I don't know any better than doctors who do this for a living.
yeah,
But anytime there's some kind of time limit put on something, it's almost like a weatherman like saying that it's going to be a nice week, but then it ends up being terrible.
yeah.
But they end up keeping their jobs anyway. I'm not
Well,
saying that it's a fireable offense at all, but
yeah,
uh,
should
you know, it's like that literally just changed like the first 10 years of their lives
be. Mm-hmm.
by not needing that surgery.
Mm-hmm.
We had a
Mm-hmm.
friend here in Berthoud whose father he's a bit old. He's a bit older, and he was just kind of complaining about like weird aches and pains just throughout his body. He ends up going to
Yeah.
the doctor, and everything has like there's cancer all throughout his body, and I forget what it stemmed from. I don't think it was melanoma, but the the opinion was that he only had 72 hours left to live at
Oh
that
my
point.
gosh.
After like a few years of feeling that pain and discomfort. Unfortunately, that ended up being true. Like it ended up
Yeah.
being a really quick process, but just that estimation game is just such a weird
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
a,
mean,
a weird thought to have.
when we were pregnant with our first kid, the first doctor we saw was like, there's no way this baby's gonna make it. You should just terminate the pregnancy. And we were like, oh, second
That
opinion. Let's do
that
that.
that, that, that
Let's
was your first. That was your first.
That was my
Your
first
second.
child, Bailey, who's now 17.
Jeez.
Her birth story is pretty crazy. It's a long one. Uh, the cliff notes are that happened. We found a specialist. My wife was on bed rest for 8 weeks at the hospital, and I was there with her every single day. We weren't even married at the time. We had only been together for about 10 months by the time we got pregnant, and uh, so bed rest for 8 weeks, and then she came out emergency C-section style on Amy's birthday. So they have the same birthday. The one night that I left to go to a comedy show with my cousin and got drunk, but still drove to the hospital, snuck into the room because they told me I wasn't allowed, and I told them, "Watch me." Um, and then I got woken up like 2 hours later, um, to an emergency C-section to become a dad, and that happened, and as I'm looking at my kid for the first time, I fainted because I had had nothing to eat, had been wasted, no sleep, all that stuff. So that day, all three of us were admitted into three separate rooms on three separate floors. Um, and then she stayed in the hospital in the NICU for 100 days and came home 2 days before my birthday. But that's the thing is it was like deadlines were set. Like you're never like first deadline was like this wasn't gonna make it. The second deadline was like just make it to like 20 something weeks and she'll have like a 50% chance of survival, but she'll have like a bunch of disabilities. And then they're like, if you make it to 30 weeks, she'll have like a 90% survival rate and like have maybe a disability or two. And then when she came out, the next thing that happened was like, okay, you have a premature kid under 3 pounds. She's going to be short her entire life. She'll never break 5 feet tall. I think Bailey's 5'2" right now. I think she's capped, but yeah, uh, expectancies and goals and all that stuff is it's a crapshoot. That's where you challenge the human spirit on what we're capable of.
That's so question for you because I've had friends whose kids have had uh or they were born premature or they had some kind of diagnosis that had a time limit or a time cap. I'm really curious is when you were told that and then you were in those first few months, I'm assuming that there was some kind of countdown in your head, like that week limit or that day limit or that month limit. I can only imagine that that was constantly ticking down in your head. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's very similar to like what's happening to our friend Danny and what happens all the time like right now. The power of social media and like community and like thoughts and prayers and love was like outpouring. So like we were very much like we would write these like daily blogs on like email and Facebook and blast them to everyone, and it was just and the nurses and the doctors in that hospital were just amazing. But yes, every week counted, every day counted. My wife, she just held in there and hung on. Yeah, yeah, every week counted.
Hmm.
Yep.
That's quite a birth story. I did not know that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, it's all there's actually like we made one of those like little Shutterfly books. Um maybe one day as a Daily Dad special, I'll break it out and I'll attempt to read it. What I did want to do one day is like digitize it again.
Hmm.
Because you take pictures of it and it's like you get the screen glare and all that other stuff. But yeah, it's a cool story. It's a cool reminder. We read it every now and then. Like we've read it to Bailey. It's hard to read because there's just tears that just flow every time you see it or look at it from me and Amy.
Yeah.
Um and like I said, I mean, you talk about a rough thing to go through. Like she was 21. Like she had Bailey on her 22nd birthday. I was 25. So like I said, super young, wasn't prepared. Life was not in order. We were barely dating. And then we had to go through this like wild journey.
That's a whole Daily Dads episode by itself.
Yeah,
That's such
those
a
100 days, like I skipped over the 100 days in the NICU, but those were some of the wildest days of my life.
yeah. I'd love to hear that story because that you're what you just described. Quick dating, young, having kids. That is completely opposite to at least what I went through was like never. Uh, we talked about like when we first had kids, what
Mhm.
were we ready for it? What was our mindset? Were you waiting for a specific? Nope. Hang on, my dog's running away
Yeah.
in the park towards another dog. Hang on a second.
Yeah, no, that's what whenever I run into someone who's a new father and they're asking for advice or they're, reading all the books or even mothers, I'm like, You're never going to be ready." And like, I'm the proof in the pudding. Like, definitely wasn't ready, but you figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. Like at like 25, I was not ready to have kids at all. But
Yeah.
I mean, now you have three. So were you ready? No, but capable, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
So good job on that. Well, Don, we have 5 minutes left. Let's talk about today's reading because I did read it, uh, and this might all be a really great introduction to it. Kids being born with a difficulty diagnosis.
Hmm.
Um, Question for you is after that and making it through that whole hard first 100 days, and then now that you have now that you went through having two other kids, that I'm assuming went easier. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, definitely easier, but they still had
As
their own
far
little
as far
things.
as medically easier,
Yeah. Hmm.
or okay. Did did you? Because I'm asking all these questions as somebody who thankfully didn't have to deal with that, and I'm really grateful about that. But because you went through that, the the diagnosis part, did that change or alter any way that you raised your other two, or how you
Um,
raised Bailey after those time periods or during those time periods?
no, I don't think so. I think like it just I mean, parenthood already fast forwards you into like a different way of life, from being a self-centered, selfish 20-year-old or whatever to like having to care for someone else. I think parenthood kind of like hits the fast forward on that, and there was see like Bailey's first Bailey, the experience with Bailey was it was hard because there was nothing we could do. Like we just had to trust the doctors and show up and listen to them and hear what was going on. Um, but it also eased us into parenting because if you think about those first 100 days where you take a infant home and you're having to learn all these things on the fly, like we we got like a padded down version of it where the doctors were doing all the work and they like slowly taught us about our daughter. We didn't have to take her home, so we would go home and sleep through the night, and nurses were on staff to take care of her. Like we couldn't stay the night there. um we would have if we could have, but it's just not allowed. So we could only go there during certain visiting hours, and the visiting hours were very open. Like they let us go for many hours in the day. It's not like we were just there for an hour a day. Like we would be there for 6, 7 hours a day.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it was tough, but in a way it was easier. Versus the second and third child, those were more normal birth stories where they came home 3 or 4 days after being born, and you were in the trenches.
Uh-huh.
um,
I guess it's almost in a way I'm not saying it was easy, but being able to have the hospital as it's almost like you had a very despite the medical issues, 100 days keeping your kid in the hospital, that's a really great transition to the rest of his life.
yeah. Yep.
It's almost like
Yeah, like I
having
said,
like
pros and
grandparents.
cons.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't fun coming to the hospital and hearing that like she had like a major setback and like got an infection and then had to like go back to like because there, like when she was in the NICU, there's like rooms like stages
Morning.
where it's like if she's in this room, she's in the worst like room where it's like 24/7 she's being watched and monitored. And as she graduates into each room, she gets closer and closer to coming home. So there were many times in those 100 days where she would go to a better room and then she'd go back. And then she'd go to the better room and then she'd go back. So there's a lot of back and forth, where the original estimates were like, oh yeah, you should get her home in like a month or two, and it's like, we made it 3+ months staying there. We were like the most well-known family in the NICU at that in that year, just because we were there for so long.
Uh-huh.
So
Well, I don't have a story to compare to yours. My one hospital reference was we also were at a hospital where I mean, what it was a very first pregnancy was, it was straightforward. Everything came out fine.
mhm.
And it was, you're there enough days where you kind of get to know the nurses' names and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was fairly peaceful. The wing was quiet. And I remember the day that we left, we were packing up, and I just happened to look outside, and I just remember seeing waves of pregnant couples walking into the hospital, and just having this realization of like, oh yeah, like 8 billion people have done this the entire
Yeah.
course of humanity, right?
Yep.
And it's not going to stop. That was like my one realization. That was my first like parent realization coming out of the hospital. Um, so I
Yeah,
mean,
it's one of those things where you kind of like think you're special for a minute, and like you really are. Like, I mean, having a baby is a special thing, but at the same time there's like millions of them born every day.
yeah, I
Maybe
don't
not
really
millions.
have any connection that I could think of to the reading as far as raising kids that have uh, a challenge like that. Like me, I mean, I guess our closest one would be our middle with, she's, somewhere on the spectrum, but, really bright, really high functioning.
Mhm.
Um, it's more dealing with like personal, like personal relationships, that kind of stuff. But we had our parent teacher conference last night. I have a few more minutes. How are you doing on time, Don?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good.
So we had a parent teacher conferences. Teacher is awesome. She's like really thriving in there. And the teacher showed us a writing sample of hers, and it was amazing. Um, I was really heartened because part of it, like it was like they had to write a narrative, and part of it, it was a writing on one of our Saturday soccer days, and it opened with the morning where she was like referencing like getting up early. It was just me and dad. He was cooking breakfast. And number one, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like these mornings are something that's becoming part of her memory, is just being
Yeah.
awake with me. So that was awesome. Um, but just the fact that she was like we like it just totally surprised us on how well she was like reading and writing. And that's been our biggest challenge, was when something's hard, she got really discouraged really fast.
Hmm.
So I wasn't. It was hard to recall the things that we did as parents to get her to that point. Like obviously we read with her, but it's like I wonder where that came from, that she was able to work through that. And part of it's the teacher she had, and part of it's us, I'm sure. But sometimes I wonder if kids are born with certain levels of resilience, whether it's from their parents or not. I don't really have an answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of everything, right? Like, I think everybody's born with a certain amount of something, or some things, or some combination of things. Then obviously there's the nature versus nurture, or that is the nature, and then the nurture is basically what you guys as a family go through, like what she sees you and Kristen going through with each other, by yourselves, and with each kid or with each person in your life. And so they just kind of learn and parrot and kind of see. And then, sometimes something just unlocks and clicks in their head, and they're like, oh, I need to step up to this challenge, and I need to figure this reading thing out. And whether or not that's a push from a teacher, or it's peer pressure of like seeing all of her peers reading at a different level, um, just you guys, or her older sister that is reading. Like, yeah, there's who knows exactly what it is. It's just a combination of all those things. I don't even think the kid knows.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, David was mentioning here. He's saying, after I was telling my story, he says, I'm tearing up. I nearly lost my middle daughter 7 times.
True. Geez.
Yeah, so that's pretty wild. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the daughter that just got married. So that's, a great full circle moment, going from like 7 times in a life thinking that, like, you've lost her, it's done, to like, here you are 20 something years later, and you're walking her down the aisle. So that's a pretty amazing thing. Like I said, like, where this all came from, our friend Danny, like, birthing a son, and having the thought that he may never see that kid, down an aisle, or bringing a grandchild to him. And then he has this burst of good news, saying that maybe the condition is turned in a different direction. So it's I think you're trying to connect it to the reading, but like I think this is part of the reading, right? Like our kids' life is challenging us. Life is challenging our kids with all of these things, and this is how we, get over them. I think the reading's more along the lines of throw some challenges in your kids' faces, just just so that they know what they're capable of. I
Just
like the
just just
idea of
just because.
taking kids on hikes, and saying, and they see something and you're like, yeah, of course, go climb that, like go climb that boulder, see if you can get to the top of it. Like you never know until you do it.
Yeah, that was one thing that I quickly jotted down today was and hiking definitely was my first thought as well. Just those really slow, possibly monotonous challenges like hiking. Like one of the
Yeah.
things that I wonder if we're nailing is like, are we raising Colorado like uh
Uh-oh, I lost you. I think your phone's trying to connect to your Wi-Fi or something. Never know the answer, folks. Okay, well, we're over time, which is cool. We love that. Love a good story. Everybody, thank you for coming, thank you for hanging out. It's just David here, though. Caitlin, thanks for popping in. Brofit,
can you hear me?
on a walk. There's
Can you
Jason.
hear
I
me?
can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Hello. Oh. Sorry, my phone I think made a phone call and now I can't
Yeah.
find my phone. What's going on?
This thing says that there are 15 people watching this on my X page. If you are actually doing that, can you just comment and say hi to me so that I know who to thank and who to shout out? DM me, shout me a wave, send me a screenshot. 15 people, that's probably the highest I've ever seen on my name alone. 9 on Ryan's. Ryan's is all botted, so I never trust Ryan's. But yeah,
Uh, Sorry, I think my phone made a phone call. Oh, geez.
what? You all right there?
Apparently, I'm looking at the comments here. I think it's been recording my voice the whole time in the comments.
Oh, that's funny. Well, it
That's weird.
didn't it didn't post it, so
Oh no, never mind. Sorry, just weird screen layout here. There we go. All right, I gotta
this
go.
guy.
I have to go to school
Yeah, no
later
worries, dude.
today.
Do your thing. I was saying bye anyways. Um,
Yeah,
I
good
was just
talk
saying
today.
thank you to everybody, and I was shouting out to people on X to prove that they're real people, because I always want to figure that out. But yeah, everybody, maybe I like the Friday show, so I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. Um, if
Yeah,
not, I'll definitely I'll see you
I
all
have
Monday.
I'm off tomorrow, so I will jump on as
Hmm,
well.
nice, nice,
Oh,
nice,
quick
nice, nice.
last funny story. We had
Hmm.
our last night of parent teacher conferences, and a sixth
Hmm.
grader walked in with her mom, and I had to run out because I had to go to my daughter's conference at another school. But the thing she opened with her mom was, I listen to his show every morning because I wore
Really?
my VDAT shirt one day, and she was her and her friend was like, well, what's VDATs? And I'm like, oh, it's a podcast that I do with my brother and two friends. So apparently, somewhere on the internet, there's sixth graders that listen to our show. So
Nuh-uh.
I have to watch my language because sometimes I swear,
Yeah.
and
That's so cool
so
though.
yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, if you're watching
So
this, Jason's sixth graders, hello to you. Thank you for
yeah,
watching.
I can't mention names because that'd be illegal. But good
And don't
morning.
and
I'll
don't
see
use
you.
don't use any of this as inside hacks on how to unweave your parents' rules. Okay? That's not what this show is for.
Yeah, but that was a cool little
Kids
experience
kids
yesterday.
listening to a parenting show is that's meta.
Yeah, I don't know where I don't know where they're listening. I don't know, but
Replay on
that's what it
YouTube.
is.
would be my guess.
Probably that.
I think that's where most of this lives and stored, or on Twitch, I guess. I just don't know if it's saved on Twitch. But we'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Have a great
See you,
day.
everybody. Peace.